Hello everyone, this is Ben Dragon on YouTube. This is my in-depth description of my Bloodborne build of the Fierce Deity from Majora's Mask. This cosplay had occurred to me after the DLC had been released, and so far it's working pretty good for me. Sadly, I am not very good at PvP, you'll see in a moment. But overall, I mean, this build has been successful for what it is. Very good for close and distant range. The specific weapons that I'm currently using is the Holy Moonlight Sword from Ludwig, as I explained in my last video, but it, I guess it wasn't very easily heard, so... But right now you're seeing just some PvP practice, I guess you can say, because I'm not very good at PvP. I quite suck. And also the current weapon you see as well is called Simon's Bowblade. I'll get more in detail of what these weapons are later on, because I just want to try and talk about the idea behind the build. So what first came up with this build was the fact that I've been playing Legend of Zelda for quite a long time, the new ones, the recent HD remakes of the previous ones, and when I first heard of the Holy Moonlight Sword being like what it is and still being able to launch those beams, these wave beams you'll see later I'll demonstrate, I thought, well, I know a certain character that does do this, and I thought, why not? I mean, if you guys agree, it looks really good. I mean, the weapon is well built. But as I said before, I really suck at PvP. It only comes down to miracle that I survive at all. But, so when I first started this build, I started out as kind of a certain type of character. You can select your origins, which determine your stats and where you want to morph your build around. When I first started this build, I had to raise up my strength and dexterity, my strength and skill. Strength determines how strong certain weapons require a certain amount of strength, and certain weapons require a certain amount of skill. These specific weapons I had to build around a previous character that I had made, because I had to figure out how much stats I have. What you're seeing here is one of also the new weapons in the game that I had to... that takes a long time to get because it's towards the end of the DLC. But my overall standing of what this build is, I mean, it's very good for what it is and what it can potentially be, but once again I say that I suck at PvP, so I am not very good. But yeah, I couldn't have made this build on my own. I had to get some help from some friends to help build it up to what it is now. Oh, such a wonderful damage trade. Anyway, I'd like to help thank my friends Sueyoshi and AstralParody. These guys have helped me with this build, how it started out. They really helped me out a lot, and I'd like to thank them for what they have done. And currently I'm working with WTF Kirk on here, just trying to show off this new spell called Madara's Whistle. I will get to that also in the explanation, but here we are. So I am going to be going through the stats and what the weapons look like. First, the moveset. There was the transformation for the Holy Moonlight Sword, and the transformation from 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. So we're going to go through its basic swings. After 2 swings, it starts doing this diagonal slashing. After 2 swings, consistent. It's holding R2 is a thrust forward, and if you press it again, you get a vertical uppercut, which does a large slash. And we just did our step back R1 and R2, and then our roll forward R1. And I forgot to do the jump attack. So when you transform the weapon, it gains a vertical downward and upward slash, and then to a horizontal left and right slash. So we're going to show you the charged R2, and it's, as I said, it launches a wave beam. And each time you slash with this weapon, with your R2, it consumes silver bullets, if you see on the top left corner. Each specific attack consumes a blood bullet, which those of you who do not play Bloodborne should know. This is the left trigger, or L2, which does a thrusting stab, very explosive. Now I'm showing you your backstep R1, R2. Your R1 is a thrust, your R2 is a vertical uppercut with a wave. And now I'm going to show you the next weapon, Simon's Bowblade. Simon's Bowblade is a unique weapon collected after you complete a quest line. This weapon has a 4-hit combo. You do 3 horizontal slashes, 2 horizontal slashes, 1 vertical, and then a thrust. And then this moveset repeats itself. This is one of the unique weapons because its charged R2 doesn't stagger an opponent on its first hit. Instead, it does a double hit, and on the second hit it staggers. So I'm just showing you your basic roll R1, your backstep R1 and R2, your jump attack, your tap R2. Basically all the movesets are really nice. So, and I just actually figured this out, that you can actually jump attack with its transform, which turns into a bow, which consumes silver bullets upon use. Its regular attack is just a quick draw. Its charged attack, your R2, and I'm just consuming some blood health to gain some more bullets. Your charged R2 is a long draw, which does significant damage. And when you press your L2, you do a slashing horizontal attack with the silver arrow, which I find pretty neat. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's still kind of funny looking. Currently I'm just checking out to see what else this weapon has, but in all honesty, this has one of the coolest movesets that I've seen in a game like this, especially in a long time with the early game weapons. But right now I'm going to show you the transform attacks. The transform attack for the Simon's Bowblade, if you attack with the sword and then press L1, your weapon will transform into a bow and fire an arrow. And if you transform it back, it'll transform into a thrust. For the Holy Moonlight Sword, you'll transform into the sword by doing a slash, and when you're transforming back, the weapon turns into an explosion, which I find really cool. I've nailed a few people. Currently I'm going over the sidearms. This is the lock shield. It blocks a lot of magical defense. It has a lot of magical defense, and it reduces damage. This is Gratia's Fist. This is a strength-based weapon, which does significant and major stagger. So every time you hit a person with this weapon, it staggers them. And it even has its own moveset. It has a dash, a roll, and a backstep. Currently, right now, I'm just doing some dashing attack, because I didn't really do those when I had recorded earlier or talked about them. But as you can see, the weapons are pretty well varied. In each attack, you need to make count. But yeah, I really enjoyed this build. It has had such a success with PvE, player versus environment, and then it also has had such a success with some PvP matches. But I'd like to thank you all for watching and contributing to what you have seen here. But I also like to go over how this build does look a lot like Link, because now I'm going to go over the equipment that I carry. So right now, first I'm going to show you the Holy Moonlight Sword, its stats. It's currently at a plus 10, which is its higher rank. And you can add blood gems, which increase damage, and again, this is for new players or new people that don't play this. I am not going to be able to read these, so you can pause them at your leisure to read the descriptions. This game does have a lot of interesting lore to the game, and for those who think that it's a little too bloody or who are older people, I do apologize for what you do see, but this game is based around blood. So my sidearms are the Hunter Blunderbuss I use, and it recovers health at 2 points per second, which is really nice. Fistigratia, it's a plus 9, and then the Lock Shield. You can obtain this, most of these ones in the DLC. There's only 2 that you can acquire pre-game. Well, normal game, which is the Hunter Blunderbuss and the Wooden Shield, which I did not show here, but this is the Yamamura Hunter Hat. You can get this off of killing a guy in the cells after you defeat Ludwig, the Accursed One, the first boss of the DLC. But you have to acquire a key later on in the game. So next is the Yarnum Hunter Garb, which you can purchase in the shop. This is probably one of the early starting set, which, and I'll point this out, that none can be upgraded. This is the old Hunter Armbands. This also comes with the Yamamura Hunter Hat. His set, as I said, you only can get off of killing him. He's pretty useless. And these are the old Hunter trousers. And as I said, pause at your leisure to be able to read what they say. I do show some of the magic here. The one that I had equipped was called the Augur of Ebertos. No, not that one. The Empty Phantasm Shell, which adds arcane damage to your weapon. This is the Tiny Tonitrus, and when you use it, it consumes 6 bullets, I believe, and it launches a line of electricity. I will be able to show that in a later video. I'll add it after this, but with no commentary, of course. Next is Monora's Whistle. This is a pre-DLC weapon, but it came out with the update. This allows for the summoning of a giant snakehead, which is pretty much basically a bait trap. When you use it, you blow the whistle, and it's very audible to you and others around you, and it's kind of a trap weapon for people who like to play kind of in your face. It's a very good spell. It does not scale with Arcane, which is that little star icon you saw. Instead, it scales with Blood Tinge, which looks like a giant exploding star. But these are my stats. You can see I have 45 Vitality, 25 Endurance, Strength 30, Skill 30, Blood Tinge 24, and Arcane 25. This was meant to be a 120 build, but I continued on to a 130. I probably will continue to play this character with lots of people, but don't tell anyone. Anyway, so I'd like to thank you guys for watching this, and please, I hope you have enjoyed. Please comment, share, and don't tell anyone. Have a good day.